Children's Commissioner, is about to join us as well. But first, let's look a little bit more at the background to this issue and the importance of good food and nutrition to learning is well established. So let's look in the gains. 1 in 5 children in New Zealand live in households that struggle to put good quality food on the table. That number rises to 1 in 4 in case of the Māori population. And New Zealand's Child Poverty Action Group estimates the weekly cost to feed a person ranges from $29 up to $74 per week. And while the government's launched Ka Ora Ka Ako, the Healthy School Lunches program, it only targets a quarter of schools as of March this year. So what about the others who are locked out and not looked after by the government or by any food program? We're joined now by the Children's Commissioner, Andrew Becroft. Andrew, g'day, good morning, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Morena.
Nice to have you on. I think I might have asked you this probably a year or so ago when I was struggling with the idea of free school lunches, and so I'd look at this and I went out and had a look at it, and I've changed my mind completely. You personally, where do you stand on it?
Oh, totally in support of it. I dream of a New Zealand where it's the birthright, as it were, of every child that the country provides them with a free school lunch. I think it's something we should aim for. Other countries do it. Why wouldn't we? The benefits are incalculable.
No, they really are. And we've looked at those benefits this morning in Rotorua at the Western Heights school there. Man, I was blown away by the attendance rates that are now there, the attention rates in the school. So there are about 100 kids not going to school regularly because, well, I think the families are embarrassed. They weren't providing lunches, so they didn't go to school. Now they go to school because lunches are provided, so they're attending, so that means they have attention in class and they're learning. I think it's bloody overwhelming, the evidence.
I do too, and we know the recent evidence about brain development is just one more strong incentive to do it. The brain thrives on good food. It is inhibited by bad food. I mean, everything we know is that one of the good things we could do for every New Zealand child is to say we guarantee them one nutritious meal a day. I welcome it. And you know, we're a quarter of the way down the track. Nearly 200,000 New Zealand children have it already. Well done to the government for that. But the dream's got to be every New Zealand child, and it would go straight to the child. That's the beauty of it.
That's exactly right, because sometimes when you give handouts to children, it goes maybe through the parents' hands, and that doesn't always get there. So this is a universality in a sense that it gets into every kid's mouth straight away, every day. We know it's being achieved. If you look at the elderly in New Zealand, they have this universality of super, so national super. They all get it. They all have a standard of living to start with. But we don't with young people.
Exactly right. I mean, we demonstrated that we're world leading with old people. That is terrific. I'm not saying change that, but why can't a country like New Zealand demonstrate a world leading commitment to children? We could do it. It's within our grasp, but we haven't thus far shown the will to do it. I wish we could.
It's priorities. Andrew, it comes down to priorities, and we've asked the Prime Minister this morning, and she says, oh, look, it'll cost hundreds of millions of dollars more to roll it out and to extend it right the way across the state schools. But I say, what's the cost not to do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, we know the best immediate thing we could do is to lift benefits, because we lag behind. Since 1991, when they were slashed, we've never made it up. But yes, it would be a big cost, no argument. But what's the cost of putting children's health first? We know we have high rates of obesity. We have high rates of other diseases that are food related. We know brains aren't being developed as they should. Learning develops. It's a win-win. So I say spend the money because children would benefit, the country would benefit. Long term, it'd be a wonderful thing to do.
There was a bit of feedback came in that was anti it earlier on, and it was sort of down the lines of you're removing another important responsibility, and that could then bleed out into other important parenting responsibilities. You know where I'm going with that? You know, you get better at parenting by being asked to parent.
Yeah, I get that, and it's sort of, in some ways, we're brought up to think fundamental responsibility of a parent is to make free school lunches. I've got to say, I wasn't the best at doing that myself. But I think the fact is that not every parent can do it, and I think all of us would say, well, if that's where taxes are going to go to relieve us of that little responsibility, but significant responsibility, we'd welcome it. Because we'd say schools together have got a commitment to make sure every child thrives, and it can be delivered at the school. And I think parents would support it when we understand the health benefits.
The health benefits, the education, the educational outcomes, we won't know ourselves. I mean, in 10 or 15 years' time, if you roll this out, you know, in the next couple of years, in 10 or 15 years' time, you'll see the benefits because there'll be educational outcomes that we won't achieve without it.
And it's hardly out of left field. I mean, Scandinavia, England, parts of the US do it. I mean, it's got a good track record. It's proven to be advantageous. Just seems to me to be screamingly obvious.
You stay in the Prime Minister's face, and we will as well. Andrew, I appreciate your time.